congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So, I mean, before we even jump into everything, just tell me a little bit about yourself and, how you created your brand.
Um, oh God, I don't know why that question always feels like the hardest question to answer. But I guess a little bit about myself. Originally from Stockton, California, moved to LA like 15 years ago to pursue college and dreams of just being in the industry, initially as a video editor, which then turned into working in distribution and marketing, which during that time at that job, I started my own YouTube channel, Sitting Pretty. And then from there, started growing my audience. And because my audience was growing, I got the opportunity to act in a film called Give Me Liberty. And because of the success of Give Me Liberty, Sex Lives of College Girls popped up, and now we're here. That's a very, very, very fast version.
Right. That's amazing though. I'm always like, in general, talking to like content creators and creatives are just always amazing. But the idea that you've been able to like take those steps, like this is what I want to do, and now you're on HBO. I always just love stories like that in general. So
yeah,
but tell me how like you knew you wanted to be an influencer. Was it just kind of that path of like wanting to be in the creative field? Was it something specifically about being a disability influencer that inspired you to want to, take that path?
You know what, truthfully, I never aspired to be an influencer. I decided to start my YouTube channel as a result of a not so great experience with a former boss at and I'm saying that because I'm like, me and Farrah used to work together. So, with the former boss at my job, and I kind of just had like a bit of an aha moment of feeling like, as a person with a disability, employment is incredibly hard to find. If I'm not mistaken, less than 2% of the job market are people who are on record saying that they have disabilities. So it's incredibly hard to get a job. And so I felt like I didn't like the feeling of someone having control of my livelihood like that. Because I knew it wasn't going to be easy just to find another job if that particular boss decided to fire me that day.
Right.
So I was like, I need to take control of my livelihood. What could I do? And because I have my degree in TV production with an emphasis in video editing, I was like, well, what can I do with that? And then it just clicked like, oh, I could do a YouTube channel. I heard of people make millions of dollars off of YouTube. Let me start a YouTube channel. And then I was brainstorming with my mom, and I was like, what do I talk about? And she was just like, well, talk about your life and what's natural. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Because people constantly are always like, what's your story? Tell me your story. I want to know your story. So I was like, well, let me just create content to share my story, and if other people like it, great, and people don't, I ain't tripping either. So
yeah, exactly. No, I like too, when I was looking at your YouTube, I'm like, it just is very like authentic, and that's what I love. Like, okay, this is how dating is going, this is how day-to-day stuff goes when I'm with my friends, just like and I feel like that's the kind of stuff we actually really want to tune into, something that's like, this feels like someone I know, or like something I can relate to, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
Yeah, so talk to me about, because a lot of people who follow this blog are more so like creatives also. So talk to me about how you built your audience and what that was like, staying consistent and making sure you get that content out all the time. Because it's a process.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a process. And I think that's kind of what the catch-22 is right now, is that there's this misinformation that is just as easy as making content, putting it up, and now you're a millionaire. And it's like, nah, that's not how that works at all. So I guess as far as my process, I just started creating content. I dedicated to myself because at the time I was still working a full-time job. So I just told myself, well, at least post one video a week. You have the bandwidth, the time, the effort that you can dedicate at least one video a week. And I did everything. I shot it all myself. I edited it myself. I made the graphics myself, everything on my own. So I just dedicated to that. And that's what I had did for a long time, was just do one video a month and everything else. And if for whatever reason I couldn't post a video within that week, I gave myself grace to know that if I couldn't post that week, I'm okay with knowing that I couldn't post that week.
Right.
Like, it was okay. Like, I wasn't gonna sweat it, stress myself out. Oh my God, I gotta get this video. Like, nah, I was the one that's like, look, bitch, I'm not gonna make it this week.
Yeah. But that again, that's what people connect with. Like, no, okay, this is a real like human. This is not like some machine that's just pumping out content all the time. I don't know. I don't know who they actually are. So I can appreciate that. Now tell me about your character Joycelyn, how you went from like, okay, I'm making my YouTube content, all the way to like HBO. Were you auditioning a lot, or were people were reaching out to you because of how popular your channel was?
You know what? I was auditioning, but very few and far between. Okay. After I got the opportunity to star in the film Give Me Liberty, which I was nominated for a Spirit Award for. The film won a Spirit Award last year. After that point, COVID hit. Yeah. So auditions were not happening for a long time. And so when they did start bringing them back, I was very specific with my agent and told them, like, I don't want to do medical based shows. I did not want to do like PSAs or anything like that for like health insurance. I wanted to really be a character. I wanted to do something, So because of those stipulations, a lot of roles that called for people with disabilities are already few and far between. Then when you say you don't want to do any medical things, that chops your auditions in half. So literally, I was getting an audition once every 3 months to do something. But so in between that time, I was doing like more modeling work. That's when I really focused more on my influencer work, like posting on the gram, videos on the gram. That's kind of like how I balance between the two worlds. So then when I got the audition for Jocelyn, I was like, oh, this is right up my alley. Yes. Love her. Right. I'm totally down for all of this. So I auditioned and thankfully they liked me.
Yes, that's always good. And how did you go? I mean, talking about, you said, trying to say like, look, these are not the roles I want. What are some of like the stereotypes that you feel like you dealt with, like having a physical disability that you did, whether it be in dating, like in your career, just in general? Like, what are some of those stereotypes that you've been like, okay, this is not what I'm looking for, get to know me?
Lord,
I know. I gotta ask.
That's one of those. It's just like, where do you start? Honestly, I mean, I guess, okay, so we'll tackle each thing. So as far as the industry is concerned, and roles and TV and all that kind of stuff. The stereotype is always either overcomer, person with the disability. Oh, they overcame. Oh, they miraculously healed. Oh, they figured out how to live life under such dire circumstances.
Right. Yeah.
Annoying. Or it is the what we call like inspiration porn, or like the infantizing of how people with disabilities are treated. So it's like, they're the character you don't want to hurt their feelings. They're the character where you have to be super nice to them, and they have to be super nice and lovable and all these other things. And then there is the over the top opposite of that, where they just are like, I'm super not affected by my disability. My disability is not, where it's almost performative than it is authentic.
Like nothing seems believable.
Yeah, nothing is just like believable. And then in real life, People assume that your life ain't shit. People assume that you aren't worthy of being loved or dating.
Wow.
People assume that God, that you're just like not worthy of existing. Like all of it at the end of the day, the underlying tone of all of it is you're not worthy of existing. And if I do recognize your existence, I don't recognize you as a human. I recognize you as this person who's under a circumstance.
Wow. Wow. Let me tell you, the fact that first of all, that's all crap, obviously. But the fact that, yes, obviously. But the fact that I just love how you're like, no, like I know who I am. And because I feel like even like just every day when I talk to people, they're just always like struggling with confidence. And you just seem like very confident and sure of who you are. Have you always been like that, or where did you find that?
No, I haven't always been like this.
Okay.
Truthfully, I've always been a person that liked to focus on the positive more than anything else.
Yeah.
So having that attitude has helped with my confidence.
Right.
But truthfully, my confidence really started to build once I started creating content and putting it on the internet.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, I told myself, well, if I talk about this, can't nobody use it as a weapon against me. So there's nothing that you can say.
Right.
So just continuing to learn how to be vulnerable, being okay in my vulnerability, owning that I'm a Cancer and I'm a very vulnerable person. Naturally.
Yes,
okay. But yeah, so just adding to that, and then just knowing that I'm constantly supported by loved ones. So all of that plays into it. And I still struggle with certain insecurities and things like that. But I guess I've found ways to combat those old narratives that, like, when I get triggered by something, like, you know, I figured out ways to be like, nope, that's not it. That's not the truth. That is not the truth. Like, you know, and do whatever self-talk I need to do to calm myself down.
Real. What if, of course, if you don't mind, like what are some of those struggles you think you're still dealing with?
You know, one of the things is feeling like, now it's weird, right? So for me, because I'm in the position that I am with a certain level of success, the things that I'm experiencing now as far as dating is that, how do I put it? It's almost like people are revering me so much that they're neglecting that I'm a woman. It's almost like this superhero admiration that they feel like. Now, mind you, I'm not mad, but you know, it's also like, you don't have to take me to Nobu on our first date, bro. Like, I'm still a chill, down to earth girl. Like, we could still go to like other places and have a good time. But it's just like, oh, we got to do that. And I'm like, yo, chill out. So that turns into feeling like now no one feels like I'm worthy enough to pursue, because they're saying that I'm a level of unattainable in a weird, twisted, backwards ass way. So then I never get pursued. So then that triggers me to be like, oh, I'm not worthy because no one wants to pursue me.
When in reality, they probably just want to date you, but they're just like, I'm not on her level. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but and you know, and I get that, and I guess I respect it to a degree, but it's also like, y'all didn't even ask me if I wanted to be in a relationship to begin with.
No,
maybe I wanted to just have fun with you.
That's a real thing.
But y'all don't want to ask questions, so here we are.
How's dating life been in the I think we're like post-pandemic, you know what I mean? But we're still being careful. So we're still in the pandemic, so we're still being careful. You know what I mean? How's that been for you?
Post-pandemic, It's been better because I'm making better choices on who I lend my time to.
Okay.
And the relationship I was in during quarantine was so bad,
Okay.
anything other than that is golden. So
Yeah.
but honestly, I spent a lot of time as a result of that relationship. I spent a lot of time to myself. I spent a lot of time in therapy,
Yeah.
just recognizing all of the different things that had led me to attract a kind of person like that. Which then now I'm like hyper aware of.
Right.
So when I'm talking to anyone or getting to know,
Mhm.
I'm real quick to be like, "Ooh, no.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't like that energy." And I'm very good with my block button now. Before I used to want to be like, "No, I'm not gonna block them. I want to know I have enough strength to ignore." And it's just like, no, just block them.
You're kind of reading me a little bit because I feel like I don't block anybody. Maybe that's what I need to start doing. Block people.
Yeah, block people. It's amazing.
That's
Oh, they're gonna end up finding another way to contact you. Just know that. They definitely gonna slide in the DM on Instagram. Oh, I'm blocked. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. But yeah.
right. That's why I did it. Okay, I gotta remember that. I gotta remember
Exactly.
that. So yeah, so tell me, okay, before because I can go on just talking to you forever. So I want to make sure I get into the show also. Like tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about your character. Do you see any like similarities with yourself and her?
Yeah, absolutely. Jocelyn is a lot of who I was when I was in college.
Okay.
Just very free spirited, super fun.
Yeah.
Which, a lot of that is who I am today.
Right.
Jocelyn is a little bit more of an asshole than I am, which I like. She's a little bit more shady. She'll throw shade and you didn't even realize shade was thrown your way. Like, wait a minute, did she just shade me?
Those are the worst ones. They'll get you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's a lot more shady than I am
Okay.
in real life. I'm not like a shady person. I'm super chill. I'm super fun. I'm
Right.
cool as fuck. So I would say like that would probably be the biggest difference. But overall, the similarities is just, having fun, being stylish, being a little thirsty for the boys, always just like, oh, who that? That kind of thing. But I'm grown now, so I've learned to
Right.
manage it in a lot more mature way.
Right. Does the show make you feel like, let me ask you, does it make you feel like, oh, this makes me miss college? Does it make you feel like, dang, I should have had more fun in college? Because I would think on a show like that, there probably has to be so many, feelings, emotions, that kind of thing.
100%. It definitely made me miss college. Because trust, I had a blast in college. So that there is nothing that any show could do that would make me be like, damn, I didn't get to do that in college.
Yes, okay.
Like, nah, I did it all.
Good.
Did it all.
Same.
So ultimately it just made me miss college. Like, dang, I really had a good time. Like, I have friends who were like other friends and who are being represented in the show and stuff like that, the personality types. So it just makes me miss college. Like, damn, that was a good time.
Right. Let's see. Of course, I'm not diminishing how much work it is. I'm sure you guys obviously have to put in your time and stuff, but just looking like it also seems like it would be a fun show to be set up.
Oh my gosh, we had a blast. I mean, I definitely did, but I know my other castmates, and plus we get along so well, just even off screen. We actually are super duper cool with each other. We check in on each other all the time. We're constantly on each other's Instagrams, like blowing each other's egos up. Like we really, really have a good bond and a good chemistry naturally, which says a lot about the way they cast the show, because we shot during COVID.
Right.
So we weren't allowed to interact with each other as much as we probably would have been able to had it not been the pandemic. So for us to still have found a way for all of us to bond, even with castmates we don't share scenes with, is still like an incredible circumstance to be in, and it's a great cast to be a part of. So I'm really excited. Like, these are the people that I get to grow on TV with.
It's so amazing how like we do so much online now through social. Like you're mentioning how y'all built that relationship when you could barely like talk to each other because of the pandemic. So I love
Yeah.
that people are able to do that. Have you ever had anyone reach out to you maybe online or something and say, you inspired them? What's a memorable message or maybe comment or something that you got that, really stuck with you? If you would share.
There's a few, I get a lot of comments from parents who
Okay.
have children with disabilities
Mhm.
who always tell me like, thank you so much for your content. I really would love my daughter to have the same confidence as you do when she gets your age, and those kind of comments. I do remember a couple times there was one girl who hit me up, and I had made a video a while ago about tips to go into when you're trying to get employed for a job. And so she told me she watched the video. She was like, Lolo, I have an interview tomorrow. I watched your video, but do you have any other tips? Da, da, da. So I sent a couple more tips just in DM. And like a couple weeks later, she told me she got the job.
Oh, wow.
So that was really memorable because, again, like I was saying, employment is so minimal for people with disabilities. So for her to achieve such an accomplishment on behalf of things that I supported her with was really great. And there was another girl who took some tips from some videos I did about dating, like your profile, your picture, and all that other stuff. Yes. And she was just like, ever since I updated my profile based on your tips, I have 3 dates lined up this week, and I'm so excited, and all these different things. So yeah, it's just great to know that like what I'm doing is working. Okay. And it is actually helping people. So it makes me very happy.
I love that. That's the best feeling. I mean, people getting jobs, people getting dates. We love it.
Exactly. People out here getting it.
Exactly. You mentioned your profile. I gotta ask, if you said you gave her some tips, what is, if you don't mind, what does your profile look like? What are some things that you make sure that you put on yours?
So all of my profiles are deleted, has been for a while.
Okay.
Because
you can't be out there now. So back in the day.
Yeah. I couldn't deal with it no more. But back in the day, for me, one of my biggest tips is that if you are a person with a visible disability, show your device or your body in your profile photo, because that will immediately eliminate a lot of people who just are so what do you call that, shallow to not even consider that this is an actual human being that you might actually get along with. So that knocks those people out. I always recommend in the bio to just be funny, be fun, be flirty in the bio. I feel like a lot of times, especially with women, we lead with, oh, I'm the owner of my own cosmetics company, and I do this and I do that. And men are like, okay.
Like, I don't care.
They don't care about that stuff. They care about like personality stuff. Are you fun? Can they have a good time with you? Are you easygoing? Those kinds of things. So I like to just be fun and silly because naturally that's also who I am. And then I would say show a variety of photos, cute and casual to super sexy if you want, like, and lead every conversation with the intention of solely just getting to know a person. Don't go into it thinking, oh, let me make sure because I'm trying to find me a husband. Don't do all that. Go in there and have fun. Just meet these men. See if they even good enough to be social with you.
Right. There's some gems being dropped. I think people are gonna get a lot from this today because everybody on the app. So this is gonna help.
Exactly. But it's just like, because if you don't go into it having fun, you're gonna constantly be disappointed. So just go into it having good conversation with people. Like there's a few guys that I'm still cool with that I met on dating apps. Like we're not dating. That wasn't it. But because we just had good chemistry and good conversation, we just kept in touch.
Right, right. I like that. I like that. I think you
Yeah.
can get some stuff from that for sure, for sure. And now I have to ask, also just like what's next for you? Obviously, you do so much. I know you're a public speaker. Getting awards, and notoriety from J Lo and Octavia Spencer. So obviously, we're gonna see you a lot on HBO. But what are some of the things personally you really want to accomplish? Maybe it could be personally, professionally. Like, what are some of your goals you see moving forward?
I would love to be the lead in a rom-com. I love rom-coms. They're just so much fun. Again, I love and I love comedy. So I just feel like it's the best blend of my personality and who I am. So I would love to do a role like that, because I also think that with rom-coms, people they usually cast their leads as people who are intended to be desired and sought after.
Right.
And we haven't seen that really with characters with disabilities. So I would love for that to be represented, but then also know that she could be a character that can have fun too and be funny.
Right.
So that would definitely be one of my goals. Another goal, of course, would be to start eventually producing content, getting back behind the scenes again, producing content about characters with disabilities by disabled creators, those kinds of things. That's why I have my production company, Sitting Pretty Productions. It's just starting with my own stuff first and then just wanting to build it over time. And then just whatever the universe and God has for me, I'm just like on board. I'm like, okay, you want me to do this next? For sure. Then I'm gonna do that next. Like, that's what I'm really open to right now.
That sounds so great. Well, good luck with everything. I mean, that's
Thank
so,
you.
yes, like I said, I love your story. I love that it's inspiring people, everything. I mean, as a creative, as someone who just likes seeing other people help people, like everything. So, thank you so much for the interview. I'm excited to write it and get some stuff on YouTube as well. And thank you for also. But yeah, I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you for having me. It was great.